Hey loves, send out here. Right now, we are going to go back in time, way back. It's one of my older videos, and I'm going to break down some things to you that you probably always wondered about, but never really had the answers to. So if you like videos like this, make sure you do me a favor and subscribe here to my channel, and then click on that bell notification so you're notified every single time I post another video. So let's hop right into this, because YouTube is full of growth hacks, but do they actually work for black hair or anybody's hair in general? From rice water to the lock method to deep conditioner overnight and scalp oiling, some of these tips are game changers for sure, while others might be ruining your hair completely. And in this video, I'm going to break down 33 of the most viral black hair care hacks to see if they really helped with hair growth, moisture, and scalp health, or if they're all just myths. So if you're struggling with dryness, breakage, or slow growth, you need to watch this before trying another YouTube hack. So let's get right into it, because you know I don't have a problem with it. And if you're ready to get into this conversation, make sure you leave me a let's go sign in the chat. Now, if you are new to my channel, then you've never seen this video before, but if you're an OG here, you've seen this video about 3 times thus far. And I know that everyone's new craze is the 6-month weave, but this is a sew-in that's been in her head for quite a bit of time. Not quite 6 months, but almost at the 6-month mark. And I could not recommend against anything more, period. But we'll get to that in a second, because I digress. Number 1, washing the hair once a month is best to avoid dryness. And this is one of the things that, you know, this whole 6-month weave thing craze is a part of, right? It's like, okay, don't shampoo your hair, or if you do, only go into the salon to get it shampooed while it's in that sew-in, because you're gonna accumulate all of that sebum and it's gonna help it grow. Listen, I'm telling you, women who decide that they're gonna leave those things alone, they just try something different from one second. After a month, they will notice that their scalp and their hair is so oily without adding anything to it. It is 1000% a myth that not shampooing your hair on a regular basis helps you to avoid dryness. If anything, shampooing your hair only once a month makes your hair drier, because the follicle in the pore that releases sebum that keeps the hair moisturized is clogged and it can't come out. Number 2, co-washing is only enough to cleanse your scalp. Guess what? That is really false, because co-washing conditioners or co-washing things in general are not strong enough to kill the over 999 different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp. So that's for sure a myth. Number 3, apple cider vinegar rinses replace shampoo. That could not be further from the truth. Apple cider vinegar is in no way, shape, or form a replacement for shampoo and conditioner, because apple cider vinegar is a pure vegetable acid. Okay, so at this point, we're done taking out the lace frontal, but you can see what's going on. Now, did her hair grow? Absolutely, but her hair didn't grow because it was in a sew-in. Her hair did not grow because she wasn't shampooing it. No, that had nothing to do with it. Her hair grew because hair grows. That's the thing. But see, the problem is everybody grows hair, but everybody has a problem retaining length, which leads us to the next one, which is rice water. Rice water guarantees hair growth. I think we know over the years that that's not true. Number 5, dry shampoo is a good alternative for natural hair. Not true. Dry shampoo only has one purpose, and that is to kill just a little bit of the bacteria, enough to get you a couple of days until your next shampoo day. And guess what? All it does is soak up oil. It's most dry shampoos are formulated with cornstarch or something like arrowroot powder, and their purpose is to suck up extra oils. It's to get you a couple extra days. It is in no way, shape, or form a replacement for shampoo. Next up is going to be no oils on the scalp prevents buildup and infections. This one is not a myth. This one is a very, very, very true, because the different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on your scalp, they love all of the wonderful botanicals and things that are within oils. They eat it and then turn it into oleic acid, which then gives you a flaky and irritated scalp. Okay. Next up is clarifying with baking soda. Baking soda removes buildup, product buildup. Yeah, it'll remove product buildup, but it'll actually remove a whole lot of other things too. So you shouldn't use baking soda on the scalp or on the hair in general, because it's strong enough to remove some buildup, but it also removes healthy dead skin, healthy skin cells, healthy cuticles, and all sorts of things. So I highly do not recommend it in any way, shape, or form. Number 8 is going to be the lock method. Liquid, oil, or cream. Is that best for moisture? Absolutely not. We've talked about that so many times before. Video link is in the description box below. Actually, all of the video links are going to be in the description box below, because I've made a video for almost everything on this list. Number 9, aloe vera gel is the ultimate hair hydrator. That is the ultimate lie, because aloe vera gel is a strong protein. Okay, aloe vera is made of the same key constituents that your hair is made of. So putting it on the scalp or putting it on the hair shaft is like giving yourself an aggressive protein treatment. It may feel good for a second, but after repeated use, your hair will be drier and drier and drier, which will then cause you to go out and spend money on more moisturizer and deep conditioning treatments, which leads me to number 10. Deep conditioning overnight makes it more effective. That cannot be further from the truth, because when we're talking about shampoos and conditioners, your hair shaft can only absorb 36% of whatever you put on it, and after about 45 minutes to an hour, your hair is done absorbing anything. So the only thing that you're doing by leaving it on overnight is actually causing the hair's cuticle and the scalp to become weaker, and you're increasing the amount of different yeast and bacteria that are living on the scalp, because they love wet environments. They love wet, oily environments, and that's what your scalp is if you're sitting conditioner on the scalp or on the hair overnight. But I digress. Number 11 is going to be water and grease are enough to keep the hair moisturized. This cannot be further from the truth, because water and oil do not mix. So oil does not do anything to keep water within the hair. They block each other. Water and oil are repelling each other, right? Oil's hydrophobic, meaning that it repels water. So something that repels water, it's not something that's going to work in conjunction together to keep the hair moisturized. How can something that repels water keep it inside? No, it's repelling. They're fighting against each other. So by you mixing water and oil together, water and grease together, and putting it in your hair, you're actually causing your hair to become drier. The more you follow practices like that, you'll notice that your hair becomes drier and drier. You'll find that your hair cannot function properly without you using those things. Now, the thing that you just saw pop up on the screen was me showing you like the different time blocks, right? But this is how her hair and her scalp looks. I know I should have had gloves on, but I didn't. But what you're looking at, the white things that you're looking at in her hair, those are dead and exploded Demodex mites and different forms of yeast and bacteria that she left on the scalp. There's nothing good about your hair being dirty remedy like this for 6 months. And when we like to pass around the term like, oh, growing dandruff, dandruff is a yeast infection of the scalp. Yeast doesn't make your hair grow, it actually causes the hair growth cycle to slow down. So I really hope that that makes sense. Let me know if it does. All right, number 12 is a plastic bag. The greenhouse effect locks in moisture overnight. It doesn't. We just talked about that. Water and oil, water and grease, it does not mix. So you're not holding anything in. They're repelling and fighting against each other. So the thing that you think is happening in your head is like, oh, it's all of this harmony and community going on within my hair with this greenhouse effect, where in reality your hair is fighting. You've caused chaos, right? Because there's a war going on, because neither the water or the oil like each other. They're repelling each other on your hair shaft. So yeah, but I digress. Next up is going to be a plastic bag. Oh, I said that already. 13 is going to be steaming is necessary for deep penetration. That's not true. That only depends on the person's porosity. If you are somebody with extremely low porosity hair, then yes, you are going to need something like a dryer or a steamer, or you can simply shampoo your hair while you're in the shower, and as soon as you get done removing that shampoo, you could go ahead and add the conditioner, put a plastic processing cap over your head, and then proceed to do the rest of your showering things, right? And then once you do that, there's steam all in the shower, all in the bathroom. That's your steamer right there. You don't need anything else. You can rinse the conditioner out with cold water. There was your steam deep conditioning treatment, and it's really, really simplistic. You don't need to go spend hundreds of dollars on a machine. Next up, applying conditioner before shampooing reverses washing and reduces dryness. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's crazy to me. You're wasting products. You're just doing extra steps that make no sense. That's like going to the car wash to get your car wash and like, oh no, my car not gonna be super clean. I know my car already dirty, but if I want it real clean, I gotta go run it through the mud and then do that. That makes no sense. So explain to me how you covering dirt, you covering bacteria, you covering grime with conditioner and locking it in is going to make the shampooing process better. Like, I really want us to think about the things that we do, and before you even think about if whether or not it makes sense scientifically, right? Ask yourself if whether or not you are someone who is doing something for no reason, or if the things that you're doing are actually causing a really good effect. Ask yourself if whether or not you're just following up behind some of these fads, or if whether or not the fads that you're following actually make sense. And when you ask yourself the question, understanding what conditioner is made for, understanding what shampoo is made for, you'll see that applying conditioner before your shampoo makes no sense. You guys, stop doing that. Again, that's an example of a YouTuber that's literally just throwing paint at the wall, or just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks. All right. Number 15, heatless curls last longer than rod sets. That's not true. It's not true. For something to last a long time, you want to set the bond in that style. And if you blow dry your hair first, right, you set your bond with the blow dryer. So whatever you do after that is temporary setting. So if you blow dry your hair and then put flexi rods in it, they'll be cute a little bit, but they're only gonna last for so long. Versus if you had the flexi rods in your head from soaking wet, or not soaking wet, from wet to dry under the dryer, allowing the bond to set as long as it takes the hair to dry, it's gonna last a lot longer. But I digress. Do what you want to do. Number 16, satin pillowcases prevent frizz better than bonnets. Now, I don't really want to say yes or no to this question, but because when it comes to bonnets, and pillowcases, all of the frizz is all going to be coming from your personal friction as you are moving around in the bed. So you can have just as much friction from a silk pillowcase as you can from a bonnet. I really think that we should get out of the habit of saying like, what's better than this one, which one is best between the two, because at the end of the day, as long as the baseline is following the science, like, okay, you're following the science of not having anything super duper tight around the hairline, something that isn't gonna snag on the hair. Okay, you've done that. So in both instances, you have silk wrapped around your hair. It's a matter of how wild you are sleeping. If you're not a wild sleeper, then yeah, a silk or a satin pillowcase will be great. But if you're a wild sleeper, girl, you better put that stuff up in a bonnet, girl, or it's gonna look crazy. It don't matter what you put on your head. If you sleep crazy, you're gonna look crazy in the morning. Next up is brushing wet hair with denim brush defines curls the best. If that's what y'all want to do, then do it. And that's all I'm gonna say. Number 18, straightening on low heat prevents damage. That's not true. If you already have holes or splits within your hair shaft, then you are gonna get damage either way it goes, because the hair is already damaged. It just doesn't have heat damage yet. That's not true, because I actually never straighten my hair on super low heat and my hair is never damaged. It is not the temperature of the flat iron that damages or decreases damage, but the preparation of the whole entire surface before any of the heat is ever applied. All right. Number 18, flat ironing with the chase method makes it silkier. The chase method is once again something that YouTubers made up, but the chase method is, I didn't call it that, but you don't want to touch the hair with your hands as you're flat ironing it, as you're guiding it down. So you simply use the comb to do that. And then when YouTubers or when people saw cosmetologists doing that, they just decided to call it the chase method. But they've been doing that in all races since I was in cosmetology school. It was never called the chase method. But again, you don't want to touch hot hair with your hands, and you don't want the hot hair to touch your client's shoulders or ears or anything like that. So we're guiding the hair down with the comb to stay in control of the hair. But no, it doesn't make it silkier, because you could do the chase method all over your whole head, but if your blowout sucked, so will your silk press. So it doesn't really matter how much you chase the flat iron with the comb. That really doesn't matter. So yeah, to me, that's a myth. Number 20, using heat protectant 100% prevents damage. Now, it won't necessarily 100% prevent damage unless you follow the proper procedures before you add the heat protectant. So it's not just like, oh, you can have whatever methods, whatever patterns and routines you want to have, and then the hair is still going to turn out perfect. It doesn't work like that. You'll have to follow all of the processes from beginning to end the right way. And when you do that, then of course adding additional heat protectant, if you're using thermal tools, will be the way to go. But remember, most of the time people try to skip steps, or they do the wrong steps at the wrong times. Your leave-in conditioner is the heat protection for your blow dryer, and your thermal heat protectant is your heat protectant for your thermal tools. So your curling iron, your flat iron, and tools like that. So you do need both if you're using heat. And this is just me personally, I don't put thermal heat protectant on wet hair. If you want to do that, you can do it, but I don't do that, and I just don't do that. I know that, like, I think Chi has on their bottle that you can spray their thermal leave-in on wet hair, even for their product. I don't do that. That's crazy to me. Putting alcohol on wet hair is crazy to me. But you do what you feel, right? But yes, if you use heat protectant the right way, it 100% with your other techniques and patterns 100% prevents heat damage. Yes, absolutely. 21. And before I move on, I've seen and heard a couple of people say, oh, it's a myth, you don't need that. Those are people who either didn't finish cosmetology school or didn't go further learning about the chemical compounds and what polymers actually do to the hair when used in the right way. So be really cautious of that, because heat protectant is absolutely 100% necessary. That's like saying that driving without a seatbelt ain't necessary. Number 21, putting oil on the hair before flat ironing it protects it. That is a myth and it is a lie. All putting oil on the hair before you flat iron it is going to do is cook it like chicken. You know what happens if you put even the same coconut oil, whatever oil that you're going to put in your hair, whatever oil you're going to put in your hair, heat a pan or a skillet or maybe even a crock pot, heat a crock pot up to 400 degrees and then put that oil in it and then watch the oil sizzle in the pan, and then you tell me if whether or not you think you're protecting your hair by putting oil in it. Heat protectants are not made of oil, and even if you get one that you feel like, oh, this is smooth like an oil, oils and glycerins are very, very similar, and I don't recommend flat ironing with glycerin either. Just get a regular heat protectant. Right now, as I'm blow drying her hair, she's not getting a flat iron, so we're not going to worry about the second heat protectant. You guys will see that in the next video clip. But right now, all she's using is a regular leave-in conditioner, and this leave-in conditioner is acting as my heat protectant for this blow dryer. It is going to be her protection from UV radiation when she goes outside, because we live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Is going to be her protection from environmental pollutions. And remember, this isn't going to last for the rest of her life. This is going to last into her next wash day. And this is why it's so important for you to have a steady and constant hair care regimen that includes shampooing the hair on a regular basis or on a schedule. But no, putting oil on your hair before you flat iron it does not protect it. It actually fries the hair. Oil and a regular heat protectant are not the same thing. Okay, they're not. Next up is going to be number 22. Wrapping hair in a t-shirt reduces frizz better than a towel. This is probably one of the little myths or hacks that irritates me the most, because it's kind of dumb to me, because that for this thing to be true, that would have to be because in the belief that all towels that are used for hair are made of cotton, where in reality in the hair salon, all towels, if you're going to a good salon, our towels are made of microfibers. So microfiber towels, which are way better for the hair than the t-shirt that you have on. Like, come on, guys. You can literally just go on Amazon and type in microfiber towels, and you can get a microfiber towel that is absolutely amazing. No, the t-shirt that you have on is not better for your hair than a microfiber towel. It's not. Okay. And I don't know if y'all know this, but most people were saying, oh, it's bad because it's made of cotton, right? But did y'all know y'all t-shirts was made of cotton too? Okay, I digress. Number 23, wearing tight braids makes hair grow faster. That's not true. It's the actual opposite. Wearing tight braids actually make the hair grow slower, because you're putting stress on the follicle, and anytime the follicle or the body in general feels stress, it goes into telogen effluvium, which is the resting stage of the hair growth cycle. So by scientific proof, you having tight braids, tight hairstyles makes the hair grow slower, not faster. Leaving protective styles in for too long helps hair grow. Not true. Your hair was going to grow either way, but because it was in a style, you weren't pulling and tugging and finger coiling and washing and going and doing all the crazy stuff that breaks your hair so you can see it. But everybody's hair is going to grow. Your hair would have grown whether it was in a sew-in or not. And this is coming from a person who did sew-ins on a regular basis. All right. As you can see, yes, her hair grew a lot, but is her hair Is her hair at its maximum strength? Is her scalp at its maximum strength? No, it's not, because it's been hidden, covered, and deprived of oxygen for over 5 months. All right. Number 25, edges need gel daily to stay laid. If that's what you want to do, then do it. But I almost never use edge control. Like, never. I don't, right now at this present time, I don't own any at all. In one of the videos linked in the description box below, I tell you or show you what I do to edges that are getting a little on the frizzy side, and actually you'll probably see a little bit of it in this next video clip. Not taking this side out. Remember, I said we were going back in time, so this is the old intro, and I'm not going to stop and re-edit. I'm just not going to do that. All right, so this is my next client. All right, the next question is, glueless wigs are healthier for edges than sew-ins. I don't agree. I don't think that wigs in any way, shape, or form are healthier than sew-ins are, because I haven't seen any sew-ins that braid up your edges. Most sew-ins leave out the perimeter of your hairline in the front and in the back. So I believe that sew-ins are a way better option than wigs. Any type of sew-in, I believe, is way better than any wig that you can get, period. 27, taping lace fronts down make them last longer. I think we all know that tape doesn't last longer than glue, so go ahead. But the tape may make the wig itself last longer because you don't have all that glue and all of the stuff that you're taking off, right? Hair grows faster when braided under wigs. I don't believe that it grows faster, but visually you think that because you're always in your head, you're always doing stuff to your head, so you can never really see the growth that you have, but it's always been there, right? This woman that you're looking at right now does not have a relaxer. She does not have any chemicals in her hair whatsoever. She does not do wash and goes and team natural stuff. No, this is a black woman who blow dries and flat irons her hair on a regular basis, and she does not have a bunch of breakage and thinning or anything like that. The thin spots, I think she has like one thinner spot, not thin spot, but one thinner spot. Those are normal hormonal changes that come with age that can be redirected with changing your diet. That's why I make the types of videos that I make. So leave a course, always check the description box for different playlists and different information that will help you through different hormonal changes that can end up hurting your hair. We're almost done. Number 20 now. Hair grows faster when trimmed frequently. Okay. Now, this is slightly a myth, because you trimming your hair doesn't have anything to do with hair growth. It has something to do with length retention. And the main reason why most black women do not see length is because you're so scared of maintenance. Women with extremely long hair are not missing a trim. They're going into the hair salon to get a trim no later than every 8 to 10 weeks, because they know that if they go longer, their hair is going to break. And instead of their cosmetologist just trimming less than like a centimeter off, they'll end up cutting a couple of inches because it'll split up the hair shaft. So these are things that most people don't really understand. But no, trimming the hair doesn't make your hair grow faster, but you retain more length because you're not cutting hair off, or your hair is not breaking off. Most black women think that their hair is not growing. Your hair is growing, but as it grows, you're combing it out. You know, most black women, after you get done doing your hair in the morning, you have globs of hair in your comb, or maybe at the end of the week, you're combing out globs of hair. Guess what? That was all of the hair that was in your head. That was the length that you were supposed to retain that you're not retaining because you're combing it out with your practices. So I really hope that that makes sense. Number 30, we're almost done. Sleeping with hair down promotes better hair growth. Now, I do agree with this. because your hair is still attached to the hair's follicle. So when your hair is like straight down and you're like laying down in the bed when you're sleeping, then there's nothing blocking, restricting, or redirecting your blood flow on your scalp. So to me, that is really like the best way to wear it. When I sleep and I don't like have a scarf on and stuff like that, which is most of the time, unless I like have a style that I'm trying to like keep in place, I'll like put a really really loose clip like at the back of my head, and that's only because I sweat in my sleep. So if I don't put a clip back there, then the back of my hair will be shriveled up and wet, and I don't want that. So that's the only reason that I use one. But I do agree that sleeping with your hair down does promote better hair growth, only because of your blood circulation. Number 31, using onion juice stops shedding immediately. I do not believe it at all. I believe that you putting onions in your diet the majority of the time, it does help to lessen shedding and strengthen the hair's follicle, because onions have like the most powerful levels of sulfur which the body needs. But you putting onion juice on your hair doesn't do anything, baby, because your scalp and your hair shaft do not have a digestive system. So even though onions have all of these key constituents, the only way you can pull the key constituents out is if you have some type of solvent. And water is not a strong enough solvent for you to spray it in your hair. It doesn't make sense. It's way better for you to eat these things. Make onions a regular part of your diet. Now, if somebody used onion juice on the scalp and they experience hair growth, most likely the only property that helped you was its antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. And if you've had an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria that was limiting your hair growth, it could have killed those things, and then your hair was able to do what it was already trying to do anyway, but the bacteria was stopping it. That does not mean onions grew your hair out. It means that the things that were limiting your hair from coming out of the follicle, though, they were killed, and now your hair is able to thrive because of the antimicrobial benefits of the onions, not because onions grow hair. I really hope that makes sense. Number 32, cutting hair on a full moon makes it grow faster. Now, this one here, baby, is a video all within itself. I do believe it 1000%, but I think you need a full video for that. And I don't know if y'all ready for those types of videos here on my channel, so I feel like I'm gonna do it on my other more like spiritual channel, unless y'all want it over here. So let me know in the chat if whether or not you do, and I will do that, right? But I do agree that cutting hair on a full moon makes it grow faster, and it's not because the full moon itself makes it grow faster, but normally if you're cutting your hair on a full moon, there is a whole like ritual that goes with it. Don't get creeped out, people. There's a whole, I won't use the word ritual, there's a whole pattern and routine that goes with it, right? So you're setting intentions and setting a clear path, and by setting intentions, I mean like, okay, this is going to be my new regimen. I'm not straying from it, and I'm gonna cut my hair on the full moon, and this will be around about the time that I need to at least check to see if I need one. Every full moon or every other full moon, let me see how my hair is doing. But I digress. We'll talk about that in another video. Let me know in the description box below if you are into having conversations like that, and that'll determine what channel this conversation shows up on. And last but certainly not least is taking a biotin alone will grow your hair faster. This is one of the biggest myths and one of the biggest like things that confuses women, because did you know that biotin is produced within your gut? You don't need to take external biotin. Biotin is produced within your gut's microbiome. So this is why blends like the one that I have, chicory root and dandelion root, and all of my other detox blends. These are why those are so good, because they balance everything in the gut out. Or like my Bodoc Blue extract, that elixir is so amazing because it balances and detoxes the liver and the gut, so that way the body can produce everything that it needs. It is not overran with too much good or bad bacteria. Everything is balanced. So you don't need to take external biotin. You could just simply reset your patterns and your routines from the inside out, changing your diet, adding certain herbs and botanicals, extracts and tinctures to your everyday patterns and routines. And this is something that will change the microfloral, and this is something that will change the gut microbiome, so that way you can begin to produce more biotin at the level that you need it on. If you want to go out and you want to take biotin, then by all means spend your money on that and do that. But it makes no sense to me for you to go out and spend money on something that your body can produce itself, instead of just sitting down and changing the patterns and routines so it's easier for your body to produce biotin. It's so simple, it's so simplistic, I promise it is. So I really hope that makes sense, right? Let me know in the comments. We've went over 33 different hacks. Let me know in the comments, which one have you tried? And if you've tried all of them, be real with your girl and say you've tried all of them. It's okay. I am not judging you or your mama or your cousin or your sister. I'm really not judging anybody, okay? Just let's be real. Let's be authentic. And which one, right? Which one do you want me to go deeper into? Is there any one of the 33 things that I just named that is like, oh my gosh, and yes, I'm guilty of that, but I literally don't know what else to put in its place? What do I put in its place? What do I do instead of that thing? Let me know. Leave that in the description box. Put that in the comments below, and then I'll have a video coming up for you showing you which way to go, right? Leading you in the right direction, whether the best direction is me just telling you in this video, or if the right direction is somewhere else, right? I'll let you know. But when we are constantly talking about long hair and how to grow long hair and black women growing long hair, y'all, I did hair for over a decade, and the majority of my clients had hair that looked just like this. And none of them did wash and goes. None of them did twist outs. They all use combs. They all use brushes. And like all of the things that most women are anti with, that they think black women can't do, she did all of those things. All of those things. And her hair always pops right back. We never had heat damage, ever. And you saw that at the very beginning of this video. It is a myth that if you put a flat iron in your hair, you're going to get heat damage. And the reason that the myth has been so strong is because as they tell you that this is bad, they then give you something else to put in its place that you have to buy from the person who told you that the way that people have been doing it for decades is wrong. So those are things that I really, really want you to think about, because I've started to see a whole lot of things that you guys have at one point like, oh, you're making it up. It's all coming to pass. Even with the Rivera Air blow dryer, there's so much coming up. I put that comment up on the screen a few minutes ago, and that's the reason that the content on my channel is changing. That's the reason that the last live that you got is going to be the last one here on the channel for a really long time. It's the reason that me and my sister decided to go ahead and reschedule our next live for a later date, because we're just focusing on other things, and I want you to do the same thing. How can I ask you to focus on other things when the videos that I'm making are all about those things? So I can't do that anymore. So I really hope that this makes sense, but let's look at things from a new aspect, right? Obviously, I'm not just gonna like stop talking about any of this, because now everybody's in the phase where they've been doing all of the crazy team natural stuff for over a decade, and they're scrambling. You guys are scrambling trying to fix it or trying to find other things to put in its place. And I'm gonna help you with that. I'm not gonna leave you hanging like everybody else did. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But I do want you to see with your own eyes, this is a black woman with long and beautiful hair who blow dries and flat irons her hair on a regular basis. And she's not old, but she's an older woman, so she didn't just start flat ironing her hair yesterday. This has been her lifetime pattern and routine. So these are things that I really, really want everybody to take into consideration. These are ways that I really want everybody to start looking at things. And don't take everything in offense. Don't take everything as something to like fight up against or something to rage about, because at the end of the day, hair care is extremely simple and simplistic. It is. And the more you try to hack, the more you try to recreate, the more you're going to end up in touchy situations. So don't do that. Let's just follow regular patterns, regular regimens. Let's kill the fear of combs and brushes. Let's delete the fear of washing your hair like you wash your ass. Because let's be honest, black women are the one group of women on earth who are having a hard time growing hair, but are doing patterns and routines completely opposite of everybody else's, but wondering why they're not getting the same results that everybody else is getting. So these are the things, again, that I really want you guys to think about. Do not forget to leave me some comments below and let me know what part of this video triggered you. Be honest. What part of this video triggered you? As I was talking, what did I say that made you like, girl, I don't agree with that. Girl, I don't know about that. It's regardless of how you feel, the truth is the truth, baby. But I just want to know, like, what part made you feel away? Because it's time for us to start looking in the mirror. Because after you tell me what made you feel away, I need you to ask yourself why that made you feel away. Because girl, I don't know you and you don't know me, and this is not a personal attack. We're talking about the science of hair, and I've visually shown you that you as a black woman can grow long, thick, and beautiful hair without leaving a weave in your head for 6 months. You can grow long and beautiful hair without not shampooing your hair. You can still shampoo your hair and wash your hair like you wash your ass and still have beautiful hair. The only thing in her hair is leave-in conditioner and heat protectant, and this is the beautiful shine and luster that her hair has. So again, let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and until my next video, keep it simple, baby, and stay easy. Like, it's not that deep. Y'all make things way too complicated for no reason, and all you gotta do is pull out a comb and a brush, baby. All you need is some shampoo and conditioner and some leave-in or whatever your styling product is, baby. You don't need to be doing all that. All right? Okay? All right? You with me? Okay, bye.